Welcome to Washington Football Week with your host, one half of that dynamic duo, Sean Spencer, and South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer.
Don't play us if you're undefeated.
Where we celebrate past success while looking to a bright future. There's a youth movement in Washington, and they're ready to take the reins. Led by fire.
Play aggressive, D.
It's a new day. New dawn. No longer the laughing stock. It's time to take command. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Sean Spencer, one half of that dynamic duo that is Let's Talk Football. And it's Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, Victory Wednesday. We're so glad you're here with us. You see who I'm with. My guy, South Carolina's finest, Will Kramer. What up, Will?
What's going on, man? Happy to be here 2 days after a Victory Monday. Feels good.
Absolutely. And host of Bro Crew Sports Talk and Washington Football Roundtable, Alyx Stevens. What up, Alex?
What's going on, man? Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is Washington Football Weekly. And hey, look, I know you've seen it around. I know you've heard it. Washington is looking beautiful. There's a new team. There is a new feeling, a new dawn, a new day. And Washington did the unthinkable. We the score is a little closer. I will admit that. But Will, I think we kind of manhandled these guys at certain parts of this ball game. What you think?
Oh, absolutely. Before we get into some of the stats, Sean, you and I have been going to Skins games for a long time. Back in the Decembers, when season ticket holders would just give us their tickets and say, I'm not charging you, just go. Someone just put a button in my seat. Please just take it. You know? And most of the times we've seen a lot of bad games. We've seen a lot of Monday night bad games. And most of the time I wake up Monday morning singing the tune, but by Tuesday I'm not singing it. But I woke up Tuesday morning, I woke up Wednesday morning, and I woke up and I'm sitting here Wednesday night singing dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 because we whooped them on Monday night, and the entire nation saw it. It was awesome.
Absolutely. Hey, the lights were bright, and our quarterback was brighter. JD5 showed out. Alex, man, talk to us, man. What are your thoughts about after that game?
Man, just incredible, man. Just incredible win. Just how people, I mean, he did not look like he was started his third game. You know, he looked like a 10-year vet out there for sure. But now, like, after this Monday night, like, everybody's talking about us now. I don't know about y'all, but like, I click on ESPN or Facebook or Instagram, and our name just keeps popping up. I'm like about time, you know what I'm saying? Because we were sleepers, and now I think teams are about to start looking at us like, yo, we got to watch out for Washington now. You know what I'm saying? I know it's still early, but man, everybody's just talking about us like we in the hot spot, and as fans, we loving it. So I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Everywhere on social media, everywhere on Facebook, everything. It's Washington. And look, after that performance by JD5, by the team, I mean, why not talk about us? We really look good, and we shocked the world, if you will. I mean, nobody expected us to get that W. The Bengals, we were in a Super Bowl. They were in a Super Bowl a couple years ago, and we came up and we looked good. And Will, you said we dominated. We said we whooped them, and through a lot of parts of that game, I mean, it really didn't look close. It looked like we knew what we were doing, like we were the seasoned team.
For once, it was a situation where I was like, "Give us the ball, give us the ball." We won it. You know, when have we ever felt like, oh man, yeah, but our offense is on the field. Here we go. You know, so yeah, I mean, it never felt like the game was out of hand. Like I was like, they can come back, and you know, and they've got the players and they've got a formula to come back on us really quickly. But every time we got the ball, we scored. You know, we went another 6 drives with scores. Tress Way has not punted in 2 weeks now, in 2 games. Sean, that's your favorite special teams MVP. Like, how does that happen? You know, so yeah, it was finally like, you know, it was just we were confident out there. It was awesome to watch.
Oh yeah, that 2-week paid vacation. I hope he appreciates it. I really do. That is great. But yeah, hey, listen, it was a good week. It was nice. But let's go ahead and let's talk about it. Let's dive into this offense. Listen, we came out firing. I can't remember the last time we had an opening drive touchdown where we drove right down the field. And not just that, but we answered them after they scored on an opening drive touchdown. And it was like a tick for tack. And it was kind of like, this is what this feels like. Okay.
Right.
Well, you know, I was still suspect. I was still kind of like, okay. Oh, they're depleted. But we did it again and went up 14. Then we did it again. And it was just kind of like, we kind of got a fast-paced, little formidable offense out here, man. What you think?
Well, and it was the way we were doing it. You know, credit goes to Cliff Kingsbury. Everyone kept saying, "Oh, it's just going to be the air raid offense and stuff." And he even said it. Maybe it was Tuesday or Monday night or something. He's like, "This isn't Arizona Cardinals year 5. This is Washington year 1." And, you know, and he changed his offense. He's not just running the same old stuff. You know, but it was like you said, every drive we were scoring and moving the ball in a different manner. You know, the first one, we got some features. Brian Robinson was able to get a touchdown. Then the second one, Austin Eckler took a 30-yard run into the end zone. Then the third one, we bombed it down to Terry. You know, it was so nice to see that we could hit them with various spots. So even though the score wasn't showing a whooping, I just felt like they didn't have a formula to beat us. They didn't know how to stop us. And it was just, you know, we were spreading the ball around just like we thought. And what I thought was really great to see was you could see the confidence by the offense. Yes. How many times on third and 7, 3rd and 8, and they're like, we got the play wide open. Zach Ertz over the middle. You know, it's 4th down. And who does he throw to? He throws to his rookie wide receiver, Luke McCaffrey, who takes the ball down to the 3-yard line, you know, who catches something and takes another 20 yards. Like, we had so much confidence how often we were converting 3rd and 4th downs. Like, that was the part that I was just like, this is very impressive to watch.
Oh, absolutely. And look, to that point, Alex, man, everybody was eating. I mean, we know JD5 had his, 2 passing touchdowns, his rushing touchdown, but then Eckler got a touchdown. B-Rob, Terry got a touchdown. Will talked about Luke and Zach getting in some action, man. I mean, everybody was getting some of this action. And honestly, that was something that I was really, really excited to see, that the offense took off the way it did.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I was shocked because me and you talked about it before the game, that we didn't think this offense was gonna, you know what I'm saying? I had us losing, you know. I feel bad, but I had us losing because what we did last week, you know what I'm saying? It was nowhere near. It's like a whole different team, like the whole different offense. You know, we couldn't score in the red zone, and I was like, oh, okay, you know, it's gonna take us some time. Well, we blew up. I don't know what the coaches said to them, but shout out to everybody, you know, the coaches, the special teams, to the offensive line, to the quarterback, to the wide receivers. I mean, everybody had a hand in something. You know what I mean? And it was crazy. I think we broke something. I think the Bengals and us broke a record of not doing no turnovers and no punts, won't it? Is that the first time in Super Bowl era?
Yeah.
You know I mean? Super Bowl era, yeah. First time
right. And people doubted us. Even the cornerback for the Bengals, I can't think of his name. He doubted us and said about JD5, about, you know, the offense is very simple. You know, they run a college like offense, and it's just little short passes here and there. It's like we came out and he ate his words for sure. You know, interviewed him again. He was like, "Yeah, I ate my words," and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, we was alive on Monday night. Everybody saw us, and we are a problem. It seems like we are a very problem. We definitely a top offense in this league now. So I'm excited, man. I know we all are. So for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was funny because I was telling Will, I was watching the first half. I was listening to the first half of the game because I was driving back from work, and Logan Paulson, they addressed that comment, and Logan Paulson was basically saying, well, I mean, I don't know, I mean, a lot of college offense that's kind of wide open, that kind of hits the spots of this and that, and then
Right.
it's kind of exciting, and then towards when they started gashing him, he was like, well, you know, this college offense is kind of picking y'all apart. Taking his little shot in there, and I was like, "Oh,
Right.
Logan, I see you." But look, to your point, man, I think the big difference is last week we had 10 penalties, a lot of them in the red zone. This week we only had 3 penalties. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's not that our offense wasn't moving before. I mean, each game this season, we've had at least 21 first downs. You know, this one we had 22. I think last week we had 22. We're moving the ball. We talked about moving it between the 20s, but this week we were able to not only get in the red zone, and I think that was key. We were 3 for 3 in the red zone, but the big part about this game that I think really kind of impressed me is the confidence we had going for it on third down. We were 3 for 3 going for it I mean, not third down, but fourth down, and we were 5 for 9 on third. I mean, first, the fact that we're taking that chance, that's one thing. But then the confidence that instilled in the players, now we're successfully keeping these drives going, and now we're not having a 3 and out. And that's, I mean, come on, man. We're not used to this, Will. Let's put it that way.
No. And it was demoralizing for the Bengals defense because they would get stops. And then they'd be sitting there, and then on fourth down, we'd get a first down. JD5 would run it, and doing a read option. And so it was sort of like, for them, it's like, well, what more can we do? We can't stop these guys right now. You look at how the ball got spread around. We were kind of talking about what would this offense look like, and obviously Terry's our best, but there was a lot of stuff about Zach Ertz being the next receiver, that next safety valve. He had the most catches out of everyone out there. He had 5 of them. Many of them were for a first down in that second half. He was that safety valve. I think back to the play where he came, it was a busted play or maybe just good coverage, and he came back to Jayden, and Jayden rifled it to him on the sidelines. It was only a 6 or 7 yard completion, but it set up 3rd and short. And so we were able to convert, So you were seeing the ball get spread around really well. Luke McCaffrey had 3 catches for 44 yards. That's pretty good per catch yardage right there. He's moving the chains. Noah Brown, this free agent signing, 3 catches for 29 yards, 10 yards a catch, not too bad. But you're seeing a lot of confidence from Jayden in him. He kind of seems to trust him. Even, Sean, I'm going to talk about your guy, Diami. He only had 2 catches. But they were a big part of that drive that we had. Yeah. They went back to back, same play to him, and he was able to get 16 yards and get us much closer. So we were able to convert. Like we had, Alyx, you were saying that a whole bunch of guys were contributing to it, and that's what we were doing on offense. And it was just really fun to see everything clicking on Monday.
I mean, dude, it's a sight for sore eyes. You know where I stand. And it has to go with our backfield, man. Austin Eckler, Brian Robinson. I've said it time and time again that this offense goes with how I believe this offense goes with how they go. And by the numbers, combined, them, Jayden Daniels, together, and even Nichols, they only have just over 100 yards. But you were talking about this, Will. The running, it wasn't necessarily the yardage that we got, but it was the time of the yards. It was when we got them, the short yard downs, or even just first or second down. We were ahead of the chains most times. And even when we didn't, the fact that we went so much on fourth down kind of leads you to believe that there's a lot of times when they came into third down, they were there saying, this is 2 down territory. We're going to sit here and go either third, and if we don't get it here, then we're going to go fourth. And when you have that, I mean, that kind of gives a confidence to the team, like, hey, okay, this might not work, but let's keep going. But we don't have to have this big dominant what's the word I'm looking for? This big play, essentially, that's going to take it for us, So I'm loving that. I'm loving every bit of it. Will, I guess my question to you is, can we sustain it? Can we keep this thing going?
That's a great question. I mean, from a standpoint of the fact that we are spreading the ball around so much, I think yes. There's a major concern right now with Austin Eckler being out. He's already been ruled out on Sunday because he suffered a concussion. And he has been quite the reveal for us. He runs fast. He runs hard. And his pass protection is something that is not talked about that much, but he makes big time decisions back there. He kind of knows who he needs to, where he needs to prioritize to give his quarterback an extra, second to get the ball away. And so, is it sustainable? I do think so, because there's enough guys that are contributing where it's not, it's not, to quote Ab, F it, Terry down there somewhere. That's not our offense. And so I think they can be sustainable, but right now we're definitely riding a high with it for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking about riding a high, I mean, we wanted to see one thing for the last several years, Alyx, and you guys talked about it. You and Anton talked about it the other day before the game, what we needed to do. We need to force feed our guy. And, we only gave him 4 receptions, but damn, if those 4 receptions weren't pinpoint, just amazing. 4 catches, 100 yards, 1 touchdown, the game winner, man. Terry McLaurin. He did everything that we needed him to do. What are your thoughts about that, man? Are you satisfied with, you only got those 4 targets, but when they happened, every one of them, especially the last one where he called it and said, 1-on-1, throw it to this guy, we're going to get it. Like, what's your thoughts about him?
You talking about with Terry? My bad. Y'all broke out, but you talking about with Terry? Yeah, man. Incredible. I mean, incredible. Him and JD5 are finally having a good connection. Because everybody was wondering, is like, when is Terry gonna get the ball? When is Terry gonna get the ball? But yeah, I mean, their confidence now that it's just growing. You know what I'm saying? It's just the beginning, man. I see big things for sure. They're definitely gelling out there quicker than what we thought. I thought it was gonna take them a couple of weeks, but man, this game, and that's why I want to know, like you said, can we keep this going? Was it? And I have a question. Was it the Bengals defense that bad, or was our offense just that good? Because I want to see us, play against a top 5 defense, or, a top 3 defense, and then see how we are. But right now, man, I mean, the Bengals did play the Chiefs, and they had a real good game versus Pat Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? And Pat Mahomes, the Chiefs played pretty good defense on Pat Mahomes. So, it's definitely up in the air, but I definitely see our offense definitely keep improving and getting better for sure. But yeah, with Terry McLaurin, man, I mean, he's a threat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we even saw it on the sideline was 4th and some, or it was third down or some. You saw Jayden Daniels. I mean, in that pressure Monday night, the crowd was loud. And I think Jayden Daniels, if you saw him, he was telling Cliff, like, come on, let's go. Call the play. Like, let's go. And then 4th down came. He was like, come on, let's do it. Like, I'm ready. Let's do it. Like, he was so hot. Like, it was just incredible. And then Terry just over the top, And I think there was one play where Luke McCaffrey, Jayden was like, just get in the position, just go. Because I already know what I'm going to do. Throw it to Terry over the top. And he said Hutton just threw it over the top. And Terry, I mean, it's just incredible, man, how fast these guys did it, and just in primetime moment, you could tell that it did not look like this was a new team. It looked like we were a veteran offense, like a 10-year vet at quarterback, and we've been doing this for a long time. But I don't know. I hope we keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? With how long can we hold this up? You know what I mean?
Well, and I think what kind of tends to get overlooked in this is the fact that JD5 was kept clean. He was only sacked twice. Our O-line, we've had questions about our O-line all year, but they have been opening holes. Brandon Coleman on the 1 touchdown where he blew the guy out. Like, and I'm so happy that JD5 rewarded Trent Scott with that touchdown, and all of a sudden he's throwing them hooks up, he's getting it in. Yeah.
Big man shuffle. Will,
let me ask you this, Will. Who gets that ball? Who gets the first game? Because Trent Scott's not gonna get any more touchdowns. Does it go to Trent Scott or does it go to JD5, man? What you think?
JD5. You got it. He gets the
gotta
game. Listen, man, there are so many people that are furious right now because nobody had Trent Scott with catching Jayden's very first touchdown pass on their bet card in Vegas. So like everyone just threw away money with that. But no, and without a doubt, he was the player of the game. Ab said it going into the game. I'm looking to see him be a star. The lights are on. It's Monday Night Football. Everyone's got attention on you. What are you going to do? I mean, he was 21 of 23. He's so careful with the ball. He's not just going to panic back there and just throw it up there and hope his guys catch it, to the point where he misses stuff because he won't anticipate right now. He wants to see it open. But, he had 250 yards passing. 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. So he did, Ab's prediction was 300. All right. So he didn't quite get that, but we only had 6 possessions. When you don't have the ball, because we kept scoring, you don't have that many opportunities. But he did a tremendous job. And what I thought was really interesting with the offense and what could progress was 2 things. I say kudos to our coaching staff, because Alex, you talked about how Terry is the one who called that last play. And he said to DQ, put this in, just throw it up to me. And the situation came up and they listened. You got coaches that are listening to their players, that trust their players. That's only going to be reciprocated when situations like that come in, when a coach hears you, calls it, and then you make the play. They're going to go back to you the next time you say, I see something. Let's go do this. So I love that. But then the other part, after the game, I saw something. I went, okay, they're starting to create something where Terry said, he goes, you got me one-on-one, just throw it up there. I got you. A little bit of the Taylor Heineke stuff, there. But, they were talking on the broadcast how Terry hasn't, been vocal about his lack of production so far. A lot of it being because he's seen it in practice to know it's going to come. He's a rookie out there, but he's going to get better, and my time's going to come. And he probably sees in practice, he's been in Ashburn long enough to go, this is the best guy I've ever had thrown to me. I'm not going to mess this up right now. We'll get to where we need to go, because he's had a lot of junk throwing him the ball.
Right.
So I think, we're talking about sustainability and making progressions. And I think you're going to see more and more grow from Terry and Jayden. And maybe this was the start, the fact that, they started to get that connection.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, but at the end of the day, to your point about the coaches, in my opinion, the game plan, the way that we game plan this game, especially when we go into defense, maybe not so much by the numbers on defense, but kind of how we decided to put so much attention to Chase. I also, on the offense, we really the game plan that was implemented, run the ball, give high percentage passes to Jayden Daniels. But if you look at that last drive where we go down for score, we took the ball. It's either the last drive or the one we got the field goal on, where we took 10 minutes to play, and we took 7 minutes off the clock. You know what I mean? Where we drove it down. This is another game where we've won the time of possession, which is a small stat, but at the same time, one of the things that we talked about is one of the only ways we're going to beat Joe Burrow is if Joe Burrow is watching the majority of the game. We beat them in time possession. He was watching most of it, and we see how close it was. But I think that's kudos to the coaching staff. And the fact that you have Terry and those guys responding to the freedom that they've been given, I honestly think, man, it bodes well for us going down the line, to where it does kind of make you think, well, who else wants some? Hey, come on, we'll take any defense right now. You know what I mean? And look, we'll see how that plays out. But hey, the offense looked beautiful, so shout out to him, man. But we gotta switch it up. We gotta move on, because this game was close, 38-33. The defense, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna come to you first, Alex. The score, I don't think, is indicative of how the defense played. They had the 2 deep balls to Jamar Chase when we did single coverage, and we didn't do it that often. Obviously, Chase Brown gashed us in the pass game, and Zach Moss had a number of runs in the run game. What are your thoughts, though, because, you know, we didn't get the Burrow that often. He was able to throw it for over 300 yards on us. You know, what are your thoughts of our defense after this one?
Yeah, not shocking. You know, throughout the first week, the second week, you know, I had a feeling that our defense wasn't really going to do that much versus, you know, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and them boys. Just like I said, Chase Brown and Zach Moss. I mean, we can't, for some reason, I don't know what it is, why we can't stop the run or the pass, especially the pass more than anything. But I had a feeling Joe Burrow was lighted up, you know what I'm saying? But to be honest with you, I think like all bets are off the table. Like when it comes to like our offense playing so well, if we just have a mediocre defense, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as we can score, you know, it might be that type of game. Y'all know that I love defense, and I would love for us to have a top 5, top 10 defense. But I think it will be okay if, you know, they score, then we score, they score. I mean, I know it's something like a college game, but our defense just needs to just do a little things, you know, just little things like get a fumble or get a turnover if we can. You know what I'm saying? But I think they did kick a field goal. They did kick a field goal and miss, right? So I mean, that was something that we did stop. You know, we stopped them on a third down, and then they had to kick a field goal and they did miss. That's what we want. You know what I'm saying? To get the offense to have the ball. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, defense, man, I don't know, man. I just don't know if we can improve throughout the year. I don't know. Maybe, possibly, maybe it will take time to gel. But man, I mean, our secondary, man, is our main issue. I think. I don't know who we can really stop, because I think St. Juice is our best corner, and every week he has gotten. He did play pretty decent versus the Giants. He did do that, but Neighbors was killing us. And then the first game, Mike Evans was killing us. You know, and that was over St. Juice's head, and then this week Jamar Chase killed him twice. You know, over the top. So it's like, man, you know, and then this week that's coming up, we got Marvin Harrison Jr., right? So who's going to guard him? You know what I mean? I'm a little nervous about it when it comes to defense, but I think we'll be fine as long as defense can do a little bit of plays, the 3 and outs. I don't know. Hopefully we can do a lot more 3 and outs, but I don't know. You know what I mean? But, and not to mention, my bad, not to mention our D tackles. I mean, these guys, Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen, I've been said that they're better pass rushers than they are run stoppers. But they make the most money. You know, these are the most paid D tackles in the league. They got to do more. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all remember before we signed Daron Payne, he had 11 sacks. And then the next year he had 4. And then, you know what I mean? Like, we need to see more out of that. You know what I'm saying? We need to see more out of Jonathan Allen. And there are talks about trade talks with Jonathan Allen. That's rumors going around. I don't know how big that's going to be, but something definitely will change, I think, before the trade deadline.
Yeah. Look, so it you know, and again, the score, the yardage, you know, all things considered, obviously it doesn't look good as far as, you know, he completed 29 passes, over 300 yards, 3 TDs.
Right.
Chase, you know, all the things we said, you got to stop Chase. He had his, but you know, I'm looking at it, and I mean, for the most part, we kept eyes on Chase. You know, we said, look, let Andrea Lascivious, let him beat us, like Gesicki beat us. You know, Higgins, let those guys beat us. You know, and with the exception of the 2 times that they caught us in single coverage and Chase torched us, with the exception of that, I really feel like it brought new meaning to bend but don't break, because different from before, like last year when it was bend but don't break, where it's just like, please stop them, please. This year, I don't know. Like after the first drive, yes, they got the touchdown, but I was kind of like, you know, we're bracketing him. We're you know, it's that whole mentality. You know, we're not going to stop them. We can only hope to contain them. And you look at the stat line at 6 and 118 and 2 TDs, and a lot of people are like, oh man, that's terrible. But in truth, it could have been far worse had we not kind of put the eyes on him that we did and say, hey, the rest of you guys beat us. Will, what you think?
Yeah. I was going to start off with some positives. It's small positives, but maybe they're stepping stones. And I mean, one of those may have been the incompetence of Cincinnati, because they were shredding us in the run game.
Yeah.
And they just didn't keep doing it. Like, I mean, you could have fed that a little bit more, and they didn't. They went to throwing the ball around a little bit to someone other than, like you said, Jamar Chase, and they did get stopped a little bit. I thought I saw out there the positives on defense was they play hard.
Mm-hmm.
They fly to the ball. They tackle as a team. They arrive violently at times. I see single tackles out there on the outside by corners. You can see these guys are coached individually pretty well. And so I feel like we're seeing some progress. And Dan Quinn said that today. He was like, we're nowhere near where we need to be, but I'm seeing something improve a little bit. But so maybe there's some growth there. You talked about how we didn't go single coverage too often. Now, in the times we did, like Joe Burrow, I got to keep this PG, but he got really excited and just threw it up there, and got touchdowns with it. But it showed that if we change our cover schemes up, we can make plays. Remember, like to that play that Alyx was talking about, the missed field goal. The play before that was extremely impactful by Jeremy Chin, who raced over the sidelines. He's the guy who popped Gesicki, so he couldn't catch the ball. That forced them to kick a field goal, and a really accurate kicker missed it. So that is a play by the defense that was, setting ourselves up for success, which was great. But, and it's a big but, we got problems. We got that aren't. I don't know if they can be fixed. Some of them probably. I feel like I'm most disappointed out of our defensive line. We knew our secondary sucked and they were going to get exposed. We knew these 3 games and started in next week, there are wide receivers that are going to get theirs. We know that. But Alyx, you said it. What's going on with John and Duran? How about this? If Jared sees this later on, if he's streaming it, well, he's not watching because he'd be commenting. He always likes to talk smack. But he's right when he says, where's Dorrance Armstrong? What has he done? Where's Dante Fowler? I think the two of them got a half a sack. They met at the quarterback to split that sack. But Dorrance Armstrong signed with us because he didn't want to be a reserve rotational player in Dallas. And yet he's not making any of the impact that we thought he would be making. Ab has been harping on these defensive ends and saying he didn't think they were very good, and they're not doing a whole lot out there. And so that's the bigger concern for me. Like you said, we got 2 first-round picks who aren't playing like first-round picks. Troy Aikman was calling them out. We got 2 guys that we paid one pretty good money, and then Dante Fowler is, I go where Dan Quinn goes. Neither one of you are showing up. So that's the part that we need to be fixing. I mean, if you notice, Johnny Newton, this was his highest snap count. I mean, I think to what you were kind of talking a little bit about those rumors, Alyx, I think they are grooming him to come in and play in case they need to be replacing someone, or just basically saying, you're either going to produce or I got someone else that can come in. So I think the defensive line is still where I'm most concerned about our defense.
And I mean, and honestly, this is kind of part of the course because as we saw, we were looking at some of these guys that we were bringing in, and we kind of had high expectations, but in truth, we were like, these guys aren't, world beaters. These guys aren't guys that are major disruptors. I'll say one thing that I did see that I liked, to Jared's point, is that, there was times when they moved Deron Bain or Jonathan Allen to the edge and had them rush up, from that defensive end position and moving around. I liked it. I mean, it didn't necessarily work all the time at all, but it was good to see that they were trying something new. They're trying to run around and figure out what's going to work. But, I don't think that we could overlook how important those middle 2 linebackers are. Bobby Wagner and Frankie Lavu. I mean, they are flying all over the place. And look, I mean, the entire Ron Rivera era, we did not have linebackers that were balling out like this. This is another game where Frankie Lavu and Bobby Wagner are leading the team in tackles. Not as much as in the last couple games. This one, I think it was like 8 and 7 or something like that. But I mean, honestly, it does make you feel a little bit more comfortable that you have these 2 guys solidifying the middle. So we know there's issues in the front and there might be issues from behind, but as long as these guys can kind of keep things together in that middle, Alyx, there's a lot of things to talk ill of. And I honestly, I really think like I said, I don't think the score was indicative of how the defense played. I was one who said they were gonna, put up 45. So I was off. So I appreciate that they actually did well like this. But talk to me about, those linebackers and how things look.
Yeah, I will say some positive. It ain't too big a positive, but I will say that when we did have Ron and in that Ron era, at every week he never really changed nothing. This new coaches that we do have, they kind of did change something. If y'all remember, Mike Sanders still was on the outside instead of the inside this time. You know what I mean? In the other corner, I can't think of his name. Y'all can say his name. I don't know how you say his name. The last name, what's his name?
Igba, not a day.
Yeah, something. Yeah, something like that. There you go, Will. But yeah, he was on the inside, so you can definitely see that this coaching is gonna change it up a little bit and try to figure out, what we're gonna do to try to get better. And I did see a little bit of Johnny Newton out there also. He looked like he could probably do something. They're definitely rotating players, trying to put players in the right spots to try to get better. You know what I'm saying? But I will say that since our offense is playing the way that they are, I think defense will play better. The offense will make the defense play better. And that is, I think, is the bright spot of the defense. I think throughout the weeks, it ain't gonna be perfect. It ain't gonna be a top 5, maybe a top 10, but it will be just enough for us to get those 3 and outs and stops and stuff like that. So, but you definitely see the coaches, and that's what I love about it, is they're definitely going to change up something. They're not going to do the same thing. And everybody knows when we had Ron, every week it was the same thing. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we keep doing the same thing? And nobody changed spots. Y'all remember Chase Young and Montez Sweat. They stayed at the same DN spot. They didn't go left or right, or you know what I mean? It was just the same simple defense. But this time you could definitely see Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr., right? Is that his defensive coordinator? Yeah. So you could definitely tell they're trying to do what they can to fix this defense. So I think he will get better. You know what I mean? For sure. Oh, my bad. And Sean, to your linebackers. Yeah, linebackers, I think, again, with Bobby and Frankie, you're right. They are some dogs out there. They are doing the best they can. You could definitely see that they bring the pain. Go in there and smash and hit the holes. What they need to do and make a pop. You know what I mean? We ain't had linebackers that actually make some noise out there. You know what I'm saying? And Bobby is a smart player. And that's what we needed for this defense. You know what I'm saying? So I think the defense will improve. It just depends on how much they will improve. You know what I mean? So for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We got, I think Will, you hit it on the head where Quinn said we're not where we want to be, but we're seeing some things. And I think that's true about the entire team. We're not where we want to be, but there's definitely some improvement that's being seen. And I don't think that's something that we could have said as much last year, at all at times, that we're actually seeing improvement, and it's actually something that we feel like, okay, we can build on this. Yeah. And it shows with the players, it shows with the excitement. I mean, the fans are always going to be excited about it, but it's good to see that we do look good. I will say we look good in comparison to how we have looked for years.
Right, for sure.
So, what is going on, Anthony? Glad you joined us.
How you doing?
Big game this week with you. You're a Bengals fan.
He's like salivating right now. It's Wednesday. Absolutely. He's already thinking about Saturday night, 7:30.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Now let's go to the least used part of this team this week: the special teams. Will Tressway, 2-week paid vacation. Look, give him another week off. This man has done enough.
Whoa, he's holding kicks. He's the holder. That's why he had to ice. He had to ice his fingers today.
You're right.
Kicks here.
Will, talk to us, man. How are you feeling about this?
So the special teams has been a really huge surprise for me. Austin Eckler, who joked, he's like, I haven't kick return since my rookie year, had a second big long kick. And was so big about it was, special teams is all about, it can create momentum. That got everybody hyped to start the second half. The Bengals had just scored, you know, it's like, we just got a 1 score difference, and then boom, he returns it to the 30, and then we score a touchdown on it, you know, and so, you know, we just kept the things going. The other part about the special teams that I find really interesting is we kick it to let them return. You know, we seem to have so much confidence in our coverage units that, and, you know, that's Jeremy Reeves getting down there and popping someone like he did. And when that happens, that can feed it. Like I said, it's momentum. Your teammates get hyped when you make a big hit out there. And so I just find it interesting to see that they're feeding into that. They're leaving it in that landing zone and saying, all right, go get them. We know you can. And so it's been a really good surprise so far.
Oh, yeah. I mean, talk about complimentary football. I mean, when you make that big hit on defense, getting the team hyped, when you get that big return, now you're flipping the field position. And I mean, who knew we can start our drives on their side of the 50? I mean, we rarely ever did that before. But Alyx, I want to come to you because look, we're only 2 weeks removed from not having a kicker. I mean, yeah, we had Cade York, but we saw he wasn't hitting anything. Now, Austin Seibert in just the last 2 weeks is 8 of 8 from field goals. And then this week, 5 of 5 extra points, man. Talk to me about that, man, because it's great. JD5 is going to score. He's going to get that offense going and whatnot. But to get the field goals to help out, think about that one late in the game where it was 28 to 24 or something like that, and they got where he got the field goal that put us up 28-26, and we got the field goal, made it 31-26 or something around there. But talk to us about what a difference that makes.
Yeah, for sure. It makes a big difference, man. I mean, can we be happy as Washington fans say that we got a kicker now? You know what I'm saying? We feel comfortable when the kicker comes out there. We don't have to, hold our breaths like, oh my God, are we gonna make it? Like, dude, Austin, man, he looks legit. I mean, he definitely looks legit, and he's young. He's 27 years old, I think, right? I think he's 27. But for sure, man, I'm definitely happy, and I'm happy that Trustway is not punting to the other team. So I'm definitely excited that he isn't out there punting or whatever. But yeah, like you said, and with that kick return with Austin Ekeler, I mean, I'm glad that Austin Ekeler is out there returning it, man. He's a hell of a return. I didn't know he had this in him. You know what I'm saying? Doing that, but for sure with our kicker, man, Austin, man, he is doing his thing, man. He is balling. And just like you said, we felt confident when we did kick it, and we were up, and I think we were up by 4 points. So that means they had to score. You know what I'm saying? So for sure, man, special teams is looking awesome. We're definitely flying down there to make big hits and everything. So I'm excited for special teams, man. This is something big. We ain't had this in a while, with our kickers, man. We've been going through kickers, and this guy, Austin, man, I mean, he is hot right now, especially in that Giants game when he made all 7. But I mean, the dude, his confidence, I mean, I hope we get this guy and we have him as long as we had Trustway, for sure, man, because that's one thing that we have not had. We've been going through kickers for a long time, especially in the Ron era. Here we go again, the Ron era. Man, how many kickers did we go through? I mean, it's just ridiculous, but now we feel confident, man. And this is awesome, man. I'm happy for special teams.
Absolutely. And like to your point, man, the fact that we do not have to stress as much about that, because I remember even there's a part of me from the past that was sitting there, and even in that last kick that was like, oh man, come on, just knock this through, please knock this through. And the way it looked, it was like, should I be nervous about this? Should I be? But then I also remember Justin Tucker in the Cowboys game where he missed the crucial daggone kick, so that nothing is certain. We all know
that is weird.
That is weird. But I'm telling you, Will, having this part of our game, and not just the punting game, but having this part, something that we don't necessarily have to worry about. I mean, a good offense is great, a good defense, that's even better. But when your special teams can contribute to the game, that's a big deal, man.
Yeah. Like Alyx said it for years. We were hoping to have a kicker. For years, I've been jealous of the Eagles with Jake Elliott and the Ravens, who went from who was the dude before Tucker? Matt Stover? Is that his name?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He was
a high school guy named Matt Stover.
Yeah, we did. So that might not be the right one. I might. Stover, was it not Stover? Well, whoever the kicker was before the Ravens, they've had good kicking for like 20 years now. Look at Dallas. Dallas usually has some pretty good kickers. Who's this Aubrey guy they plucked off the streets? And it can be such a huge weapon. And so for us to have somebody that's reliable, it makes a big difference.
For sure.
Absolutely. So glad we got it. But look, we are going to move on real quick. But real quick, we're going to do a quick commercial from our guy, Anton Benton. He does good work. Check this out. Yeah, buddy. Definitely go check out my guy, Mr. Anton Benton. Awesome artisans, awesome_artisans on Instagram. He definitely travels, he lives in Virginia Beach right now, but he will definitely travel if you need him to. Matt Stover. Yo.
Sean, if you're going to be putting jazz stuff out and having a saxophone play, why didn't you tell me? I could play you a couple tunes.
Come on, man. Let me find out you got some saxophone abilities, man. I'll definitely.
No. I retired that years ago.
It's from the Sean Spencer personal collection.
Right.
Look, let's go ahead and move on. Look, you know it. We 2-1, and for a second, can we just sit here 2-1? And by what we see in the NFC East standings, we are on top of the division. Now, yes, we're tied with the Eagles, but technically it has us at number 1 in the division. So I'll take that and run with it like I did yesterday. But we have another game, and this is another matchup that might test our secondary. The Cardinals. We're playing the Arizona Cardinals, almost call them the Phoenix Cardinals. We're playing the Arizona Cardinals this week. Kyler Murray's been playing well. Marvin Harrison Jr., their first round pick, obviously is doing everything as advertised. Will, I'm going to come to you first. On paper, I don't, our defense, might have some things we need to work out. And I've talked about that with us having, bottom 4 total defense, your second to last in pass defense. And again, going up against a team that's throws a lot and but also runs a lot. Will, coming into this game against the Cardinals, man, what kind of are your feelings and your expectations in this?
Yeah, I don't know. That's I can't predict this one at all because they've got weapons that could really hurt us. Marvin Harrison Jr. showed he is legit. He was everything that they hyped him to be. And when Kyler throws it to him, really good things are happening. Michael Wilson is another wide receiver who was actually pretty hyped coming out. I think he came out of Ohio State, maybe.
I think so.
He was pretty hyped coming out, and Greg Dortch has made some plays as well. So they've got weapons. I can't believe James Conner is still in the league. I feel like he's been in the league like 20 years at this point, but he's still producing a little bit. But they've gotten hit by the injury bug. They've got starters that are out long term, and they just lost maybe their best defensive lineman in Justin Jones, and so that's certainly going to hurt them. I think this is going to be the Sean Spencer "I told you so" game potentially. With Zaven Collins out there, if he gets a sack, Sean's going to go nuts and yell at all of us. Why didn't we pick the guy? We should have picked him instead of Jamin. But looking at this roster, I don't know a lot of their players. Yeah, Budda Baker. Yeah, Marvin Harrison. Yeah, Kyler Murray. But I don't know a lot, so it's hard for me to say. In this, it's year 2 of their coaching staff. It's hard for me to be like, we got this, and this is how. Because I think they're in a big rebuilding mode. You know some of their stats a little bit, so help me a little bit because I'm confused on this one.
So yeah, no. So to your point, so their offense is 7th overall, and they're averaging about 300, almost 350 yards a game. Their passing is kind of in the middle of the pack. They're only getting about 200 yards, and most likely we know that's going a lot to Harrison. But they're 9th in rushing, averaging almost 150 on the ground, and seeing in those first 3 weeks, Bucky Irvin and Rashad White got us in the first week. Devin Singletary got us against the Giants. Chase Brown, who's a rookie, and Zach Moss, who's a retread from the Colts. They got all these guys have had success on us. So coming into this one, I'm a little bit nervous. On it because we've seen how their offense can get going. I've told you about how our defense is. Their defense is kind of middle of the pack, like 7th overall. And or 17th overall, and then 12th against the pass, but they still give up about 130 yards on the ground. So that should bode well for us if we can keep running the ball. And then the other part of this that you're going to have to, and I'm going to bring this to you, Alyx, the Cliff Kingsbury revenge game. You know what I mean? Going up against his old team. We know, the last real definitive image that we have of him in Arizona was the time that Kyler Murray comes off the field and is just chewing his coach a new one, and you're just, oh, dag, and Cliff just looked like he took it, and apparently, and then he left after that. So talk to me about this game, knowing, I think it might be a little bit even, especially with these injuries that they have. I mean, we could be hitting the right time.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's gonna be even, man. I think they have some good secondary. Buda Baker is nice. He's really raw. I know that he's going to be the leader of that secondary. I think this might be a challenge for our offense. You know what I'm saying? Especially we don't have Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is a big piece for us. But yeah, shout out to Cliff Kingsbury. He's definitely gonna do whatever he can to go after this defense. You know what I'm saying? And he gonna let Kyle Murray know, like, hey, I got the quarterback I wanted because I thought it was you, but it ain't you. So it's JD5. So he's gonna definitely do what he can on his defense for sure. But I think it's gonna be I think it might be tight, man. I really do. I think it might be tight. I know that with Kyle Murray and Marvin Harrison, they're still gelling. You know what I mean? And they're still galloping with their offense and trying to get it going. So I don't know, man. It don't seem like we do feel confident of what we just did, but we still have to really have to look back and be like, man, this might be a close game. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. You know what I mean? Like, it might be a real close game. I think offense is not gonna. I think offense is gonna be good, but I don't think it's gonna be like what we did on Monday night. I think it might be a little. I think they're gonna do a lot better. Their defense is gonna do a lot better than what the Bengals did. You know what I'm saying? So for sure, man, it's definitely gonna be something that we can't sleep on. We have to make sure that we have all our ducks in a row and do our thing out there.
Yeah, for me,
and looking at the sorry, Sean, I jumped in on you, but kind of when Alyx was talking about, they've played better. they've stuck with the Bills and the Lions. They've been in 2 competitive games against teams that better than teams that we've played. So I think there's something to them by all means. Even though I can't name a lot of the guys in the roster, there's something to this team.
Oh yeah, no, and to your point on that, we also got to look at some of the some of our weaknesses that they might exploit. We know about the passing game with Marvin Harrison Jr. and everything like that. But one thing that I've noticed is we're also susceptible to tight ends at times. And Trey McBride, their tight end, has definitely been moving up the charts. A lot of people talk about him in the fantasy. He is their second leading receiver. And then we talk about the running game, James Conner. Kyler Murray is their second leading rusher. So we have been notoriously have had issues with mobile quarterbacks. And I think this might be one of those type situations. We talk about our D line and the lack of, pressure that we've been able to get. Like, we let these boys start running on us and then all of a sudden start throwing over the top. We could have a shootout kind of similar to last week. But I think the X factor is going to be how our offense is able to play against their defense. To your point, Will, there's the Zaven Collins, there are the Buda Bakers, and but other than that, who are we really afraid of? Who are we really talking about? Yeah, we had that. Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I thought y'all froze. My bad. But I was trying to say, my bad, Sean. I don't mean to cut you off, but I was trying to say, y'all remember last year? This was our first game when we had Sam Howell. Our first game versus Cardinals, and their defense was legit. You know what I'm saying? It's really the same. It's really the same defense. They got some good linebackers. You know what I mean? And they hit. You know, they go out and hit hard. You know what I mean? This is not going to be a slouch game. I will with that wide receiver that you said, Wilson. Hopefully I would love to see Emmanuel Forbes come in this game. I don't know if y'all remember last year. I think it was 4th down or something when we beat the Cardinals, and Emmanuel Forbes was on Wilson. And I think Wilson did, I don't know if y'all remember that, but Wilson did like a cut, and Emmanuel Forbes was right there and almost picked it off. You know, that was one of Emmanuel Forbes' first game, and we thought Emmanuel Forbes was legit. And I know he has had a rocky start with us and everything, but I hope he plays, man. I like to see him versus Wilson and try to get that game back that he had in last year's first game. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, for sure, man. I don't think this is gonna be a sleeper game. Like everybody, feels like we're gonna win this game easy. Nah, I think this is gonna be a tough matchup for sure. My bad. I just want to put that in there. I forgot about that.
No, I remember that. Yeah, you're right. He stuck his hand right in there. But yeah, 4th down play, and everyone's like, "We got ourselves a cornerback."
Right. Yep. I remember that.
No, absolutely, and we're going to need that. We're going to need that this week because Kyler Murray's only thrown 1 interception. So he, just like Jayden Daniels, is playing smart with their ball. They're trying to play turnover free. So yeah. Let's hope we get some some cornerback play. And look, Sam is still like you said, Alex, he was lined up on the outside. I think they're putting some trust in him, St. Juice, and some of these guys, man. They might see something different than we see. So this could be a coming out party for our defense, man. I mean, we are hitting them at the right time, and let's hope so. But look, we got to move on. You know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for those keys to victory. Yeah, buddy. Where we do 2 keys, go around once, and then go around a second time with a key to victory on what's going to help us get this win this week. Will, I'm going to come to you first. What is your first key to victory?
It's kind of an easy and obvious one. So sorry if I stole somebody's. It's going to be double Marvin Harrison. It's going to be – we may even need to put St. Juice while he's probably, like you said, Alex, our best corner. That's not saying much, but he's got size to maybe say you just need to travel with him. And then Quan, you need to follow where he goes. And so wherever Marvin goes, you just stay on top of that. Stay behind the corner, and that's where you need to be because we're going to just have to say – it's going to be McBride. It's going to be Wilson. It's going to be Dortch. It's going to be somebody else that's going to have to beat us. And he's still probably going to get some on us, but we have got to have multiple eyes on Marvin Harrison Jr. if we are to have some success on defense.
Absolutely. Alex, what you think?
Well, Will, you took mine. You definitely took mine, but I will definitely have to say stopping the run. James Conner, like you said, Will, he's been here for so long, but dude is nasty. And here lately, we have not stopped the run. So we definitely need to stop him. Because he can easily get over 100-some yards on us. So I mean, with the big guys that we have, and like we said, we want to see something out of Armstrong. I definitely want to see something out of Armstrong. I would love to see Jamin Davis do something in this. And Daron Payne and Jonathan Allen. I mean, this is a no-brainer, man. They have to get up in there and stop this run. You know what I'm saying? Because that's my thing. Even though Kyle Murray, I think he's going to do his thing with Marvin Harrison. We definitely need to double team him. But I think they're going to lean on the run. I think they saw that what Bengals was killing us in the run. They saw the Giants was doing it. And then they saw Tampa with White was doing it. So they already know. I feel like they know our weakness. You know what I'm saying? Is going to be this run. And we need to stop the run for sure. I think that's the keys to victory for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And my first key to victory is contain. We know Tyler Murray likes to get to running. We know Marvin Harrison is going to be a problem. We're not going to shut these guys down or shut them out. But if we can contain them, keep everything in front of us, make sure that if Kyler Murray's running, that he's running east and west and not north and south. Keep everything in front of you, make them have to beat you by making a great play all around. Let's contain their guys that we know are big threats. All right, Will, what's your last key to victory?
Yeah, so it's going to be who replaces Eckler. I obviously we can't expect to get a nice return every single week, but he does so much more for this offense. Jeremy McNichols is going to get the first opportunity to just be able to give Robinson a little bit of a breather. He made a big block on that touchdown pass to Terry. McNichols decided to take the inside rusher, which allowed the outside rusher to come free, which took him longer to get there. And Daniels had enough time to get the ball away. So he made a good play there. And so can he help out in a little bit with the run game? We're not going to replace what Eckler was doing on offense, but can he do something to keep things going? Or is it not, Brian Robinson's out, we're not worried about McNichols, let's just load the box, or let's try and bait them into giving him the ball. And then also just the fact that Austin was so important in our screen game. Who's going to help out with that? Where's the ball going to go now with Austin Eckler being out? And I don't know that, but he's been such a key weapon. I'm curious to see how they replace that.
Absolutely. Alex, what you think?
Sean, you know what it is. You know what I'm gonna say.
JD5.
JD5.
That's right.
You already know it, man. I had to put my boy up there. Just what he can do, man. Everybody know what he can do, and they starting to see it, man. I still think this is not the end of it. I still think he has a lot to prove. He still has things to work on. But I just think that he is going to be the main piece of our offense and our team win. You know what I'm saying? He is our leader, and he's definitely got to show up when we play these Cardinals for sure. I think that him and with the weapons that we have, especially with Luke McCaffrey, I'm loving Luke McCaffrey. I think Luke McCaffrey, him and Luke McCaffrey are going to. I think this might be a big game for Luke McCaffrey. I do, because I think that Luke McCaffrey, even in that game. In the Giants game, he missed JD5 missed some opportunities. Luke McCaffrey was open. You know what I'm saying? And then we really saw him connect with him with the game that we just played. So I think with the weapons that we have, especially with Terry and Noah Brown, I think JD5, he's so poised in the pocket, man, and he needs to keep doing it and just keep growing, man. The sky's the limit for this man. I told y'all, I think this man could be something very, very special. And what we saw a superstar in the making. We saw someone that was born. Yes. What was it? Monday night. We saw someone that was born. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was incredible. I didn't think he was gonna be this fast. And again, he might not show what he did on Monday night. He might have a little lumps. He might even throw an interception this game because he hasn't thrown an interception. But he is our keys for sure. You know what I mean? This is our guy, and we just need to ride with him. And the team if we ride with him, the team will play better when we go with him. So yeah, JD5 all day for sure.
Sure.
Nice. And then my second one is we got to win on third down, and that's offense and defense. We've got to win on third down. We were 5 of 9 this past week on offense, which was huge for us. But even though I know we go for it on fourth, or at least we did a lot last game and the last couple games, as a matter of fact, but we got to win on third down and keep those drives moving. And then on defense, we got to get off the field. I think one of the issues the reason why we were able to win is that we did stay on the field, and their depleted defense had to stay on the field longer. And we saw in that comeback of the Ravens, of the Cowboys in the Ravens game, where the longer the Ravens D was on the field, no matter how well they were playing during the game, the longer they were on the field, the guys started to get gassed, and then all of a sudden, Dak starts to take advantage of it. So we have got to get our defense off the field, and our offense got to stay on the field, man. So that is my second key to victory. All right, let's go ahead and move down to score predictions. Alex, I'm going to come to you first. What do you think the score of this game is going to be?
28-23, Washington.
I can dig it. Will, what you think?
I'm going high score as well. I just have a hard time seeing us being 3-1. So I'm going to say 27-21 Arizona.
Oh yeah. I'm going to go 30-27 Arizona on a late field goal. We're gonna doing good, and we're gonna still show some signs of doing well. But we're still need a little bit of work. But I think this kind of like, like we learned a lot of lessons in the win, but I think in this loss we'll kind of learn a lot of lessons, and we're gonna ball out. I think JD5 is gonna have a good game, and but I think this might be a little pop to our balloon and kind of like, all right, back to work. But it's good work. It's all good work. So I'm excited about it. All right. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us. Let us know what you guys think, what you think the score is going to be, and what you think your thoughts on the keys to victory. But yeah, for us, we are going to head out of here. Look at that game. Hopefully we'll get the dub. Washington, Arizona this weekend. Hopefully Dallas gets another loss, and then we can laugh at them even more. I know they're playing the Giants, but
Thursday
Giants defense
happens tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
That Giants defense is playing up a little bit, so let's see if they can get it done. And for now, the two new teams in the basement of the division. But for my guy, South Carolina's finest Will Kramer, the host of Bro Crew Sports Talk and Washington Football Roundtable, Alyx Stevens. It's your boy, Sean Spencer. We will see you next time. Stay up, be cool, and as always,
left hand up.
Yeah, baby.
Gibbs, you got a good chance. Let me tell you something about some good fans. Back in the day, RFK was our palace. If you don't know, you need to ask about us. Think we're gonna lose? Well, I can't believe you doubt us. Had the whole crowd screaming out, "We want Dallas!" Those haters can't stand us. Left hand up. Who are we? Commanders. We fight for RDC. Who are we? The Commanders. Left hand up. Who are we? Burgundy and gold. We rock that. Our offense, you can't stop that. Right in front of that first down.